Hi dear friends, this is Dmitro, your English tutor for DET, IELTS, TOEFL preparation. In this small lesson, let's practice a little bit of Duolingo read and select exercise, specifically medium level. Probably, if you feel that we did some of these exercises before, don't get angry with me because I'm already confused. We have done a lot of them and I may be mistaken, but anyway, if you're watching this for the first time, it will yield you benefits. Firstly, because all these words are real words from real Duolingo exercises recorded by some enthusiasts, so you're working with the real thing, which is very valuable. And secondly, I'm showing you my logic, my approach to this, which proves to be very effective. By the way, I want to tell you that at the moment I'm creating a video course called DET with Flying Colors. It will be a comprehensive Duolingo self-preparation video course for you, but of course it takes time, so maybe a couple more months. There will be from 50 to 60 video lessons, about 40 to 50 minutes each, covering all types of exercises in Duolingo. And even if in the future DET decides to change something again, I will just add several more lessons and that will be it. So I will be happy to present it to you. I mean to release it. Of course it will cost money, but it will help you, believe me. Also, if you feel you need urgent help in your DET preparation, for instance you are stuck at 110, let's say, but you need 120 and you have 2 weeks left and you know what to do, you have already consulted, worked with several tutors, with native speakers, non-native speakers, and so on and so on. So I'm here to help. I'm a person who is able to do miracles sometimes on your DET English. Yes, really, please go to my website and read a couple of testimonials. You will see what I mean. Okay, and now let's do a couple of these exercises. We do them in such a way. I look at the word. Your task is to try to feel like more quickly than I do, whether it exists or not. So then I say yes, for example, it exists. I say a noun or an adjective. I read it, for example, slaughter in this case. Then obligatory. I voice it in a Latin way. I always do that. Latin means I see a letter, I read a letter. So in a Latin manner, it is not slaughter, but slaugchter. You see? Maybe my Ukrainian accent, but I think it doesn't matter in our case. Slaugchter. Why I do that? Because I want to remember, I want to memorize how to write it, and also to be able to better recognize it in the texts everywhere. Because I tell you, if you just try to memorize it as slaughter, when you see it again in, let's say, 1 month, for example, you see the slaughter, you will not be sure whether you have here, for example, this, I don't know, U. Okay, let it be with you, but for example, this G. Whether there is G or no G, you're not sure, but if you have pronounced 4 or 5 times slaugchter, 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 I tell you, you will be sure. You please pronounce those letters in a way that is comfortable and convenient to you. Yes, for instance, if you like take, especially it concerns letter C, I will show you, just a moment, where we have C. Oh, tolerance, yeah? You can say, just tolerance, you can say tolerance, but don't say tolerance, because I tell you, you will confuse it with S. Let it be C or sometimes K, like this, carve. So you can, in a Latin manner, pronounce it carve or tsarve, as you like. So tsarve, of course, is a surefire way to remember, but it sounds a bit maybe funny to use, but I don't care. I want to raise your score. So C is, in our Latin manner, ts or k. Okay, let it be. Also, there is maybe there is a problem with the Y, so you can call it E or U, as in German. Continuity. So, but I pronounce it continuitu. You see? Tu means U means this Y. You will never confuse it with anything else. Don't be afraid that you will pronounce it at your Duolingo and you're speaking continuitu. There was no such occasion in my career within more than 20 years. So don't believe those guys who say like that. I don't know why they say so. It's stupidity. Okay, my friends, so let's start. Off we go. You will have 1 minute for this. It's more than enough. No problem. I follow from the left top corner to the bottom right. I don't jump like you do. No, because in this way you will miss a lot of words, as practice shows. From left to right, you are like impartial, technical observer. Yes, like an analyst. No emotions, no guessings. You know this word, you mark this word. You don't know, you don't take. Don't stare at a word for 20 seconds, like with the blood pulsing in your eyes, for example, this. Because if you stare at this beauty for 1 minute, for example, you will be 99% sure that it exists, but it doesn't. So don't, please, 5 seconds for a word, and then you decide whether it exists or not. Okay. Slaughter, yeah, a noun. Slaughter is like a bad word. Slaughter means murdering of a lot of people or animals. Remember our Latin manner, slaughter. Exquisite, yes, exquisite, yeah, means like original, unique. Undertation, no. Spouse, yeah, it's your wife or husband, your spouse. Donor, of course. Usually it's a person who gives his or her blood to some surgery to another person, donor. Pensate, no? A lot of guys will take it because they, in their mind, it will blink something like compensate, yes, and they will, but you see, it's not that, it's another kettle of water. Maximize, to maximize, yes, to make it maximum or maximal, to maximize, to make it large, the largest, the most of something, to maximize profits, to maximize revenues. Marino, no. Snorter, no. Tolerance, a lot of meanings, so the most common one is your ability to endure, to tolerate something, your tolerance to stupidity or your tolerance to rudeness, how well you can endure that. Outbound, no. Resensibly, no. Carve, to carve means to take, for example, your knife and to take some piece of wood, and then on this piece of wood with your knife you carve out some symbols, so you make those grooves. Closure, yeah, to close, closure, the phenomenon of closing something, the end of something. Asmus, no, an application, no. Continuity, yeah, it means that there is a continuous flow with something. For example, electric current, we check whether in our electric circuit there is continuity. If there is no continuity, there is a break somewhere, there is a gap, so there is no continuity. Surrender, to surrender means to succumb, to surrender, to acquiesce, to give up. So when somebody forces you to do something you don't want, but then you finally surrender. Surrender. You remember continuity. I don't think a lot of you will make mistakes in this why, but for example in this exquisite, slaughter, yes, X and then QU. Remember in English Q always lives together with U. It's impossible to meet Q without next U. You see? So, exquisite. Okay. Thanks God, everything's fine. Let's do a couple more. Outsever. No, there is to sever, but outsever I don't remember. Intolerance. We had tolerance. It's intolerance, the opposite. Like when I'm not tolerant, I don't want to withstand some rudeness or something. I become hysterical, I begin to fight and so on. So I show my intolerance to this. Pragmatic, you know, difficult to explain. Let's say it's so there is idealism and there is practicality. Pragmatic means practical. Like I'm a practical person, I'm a pragmatic person. I'm not an idealist. Let it be. No. Wholeheartedly. Beautiful adverb, means with your whole heart, with your kind heart. Like she helped me, supported me wholeheartedly. Whereabouts, it's the location. An interesting word, the whereabouts of, it means the location of John. Whereabouts. Inheritance, yes. Inheritance means, for example, the money you get from your deceased granny or grandpa. Inheritance. I give you only one variant of several meanings, of course. It would be silly to discuss all of them because it will be a rigmarole in your mind soon. Implicit, no, erode, yeah, to erode means like to eat, to corrode, erode, you know, when some acids, they erode the surface. Erosion from this, erosion of the soil. Let it be. Okay, let's do a couple more. And, grantic, no. Comoral, no. Temporary, no. Hostel. Hostel is a small hotel. Let it be like this. Hostel. No. Ors, no. Corresor, no. Ecriti, no. Prescription. Yes. Usually it's a doctor's prescription. Like he prescribes the medications to you. This document on which you have several medicines to go and to buy them in medicines. I'm sorry, to go to buy them in the pharmacy. Prescription. To replace means to take something and replace, exchange it for something else. For example, this manager in our company was replaced with another manager. Groceries, yeah, of course. Groceries means those most common things you buy in the food shop, in the grocery shop. Like those cereals and macaronis and all the jazzy cabbages and grocery, yes. Best terrain, no literate, no cholish, no intellected. A lot of guys would click it because they think like intellect, but there is no C. You see? Be careful and attentive. Wolf is a wild animal, larger than a fox 2 or 3 times, and very quite dangerous if there are several of them. Varied. It's an adjective. It means various. The synonym of various, like different. Varied species of animals, of wolves, for example. Varied. Sample. Example, sample. It's an instance of something. Like writing sample. It's just only one probe of something. Of your writing, for example, or speaking. Let it be. Sometimes it's like a template sample. Yes. Okay, let's do one more. By the way, these types of exercises are included in my video course, but there will be not 5 or 6 of them, but let's say 300 of them. Yeah, about 300 of such exercises to enlarge your passive vocabulary for your Duolingo test. And you know, honestly, I think it works not only for Duolingo. For most of the tests, you need to enlarge your vocabulary. So this exercise helps you for sure, for any test. Racially, adverb, as you see, because we have li, from the word racial, from the word race, racially, something referring to question of race. Race means like Afro-Americans, Europeans, and so on. Radiation, the process of radiating something, emitting, ejecting some magnetic radiation, yes, light radiation, and stuff like that. Admitute, no, famine. Famine is not a nice word. It means that when the whole country, for example, doesn't have anything to eat, so they have famine, like great starvation. To resume or resume. So to resume means to do something like again after stopping, and resume is the summary of something. Resume. Participate, yes. To participate means to take part in some activity. Historian, a person who studies history. For example, a professor, he is a historian. To deepen means to go deeper into some field, for example, or to some maybe like area or liquid in it, to deepen into something. Partially, no. Worthy, unworthy, not so easy to explain. When you feel that you're nice and you deserve your happiness, for example, you feel that you're worthy of happiness, or you are worthy of riches, or you're worthy of good attitude, you deserve it. Classes, no. Gifted means talented. Yeah, it's a synonym. Gifted, talented. Venue, it's some place or some building, some edifice. So venue, let's call it a place. Beautiful, synonym for place. Venue. Ecologically, yeah. Adverb, ecology, ecological, ecologically. Something again like racially, ecologically, globally. It answers the question of how. Honored, yes, an honored professor of history. An honored historian means that people honor, revere him. He's very popular and famous, and they respect him. Honored, the third form of the and the second of the verb honor, to honor somebody. Yeah, very nice. Okay, my friends, so this has been a medium level. A medium means that if you are very comfortable with this, so you can think about 115, 120 for your Duolingo comprehension subscore. But of course it's impossible to predict for sure, because there are a lot of aspects involved, and we can feel all of them like only during our private lessons. I cannot, but at the same time it's very easy for you to define if you have problems. If you don't know half of these words, it means that probably it's not yet time for you to think about 115 or something Duolingo comprehension, maybe 90 or something like that. So think about it. If you have answered now every word, you have found every correct word easily, it means that about 120 will be yours. If you make mistakes in half of the words, it's not a good sign. You need to improve tremendously to reach your goals. Okay, my friends, again, if you need help, please write to me. I always place all my contacts in the bottom of the video and in the description. I will answer for sure. Okay, I wish you success and see you in our next lesson.